Go. Happy Monday, boys. It's 8:53 a.m. I've already checked in with all of my clients. I'm having a pre-gym coffee, and I thought, what better way to spend 10 minutes than talking to you guys, putting together a YouTube video. And today we're going to talk about the topic of the calories and macronutrients that I am taking, consuming, eating on, I guess, to build muscle right now. And this video, the idea of this video stemmed from the fact that I think it was on Friday, I put this photo on Instagram looking pretty hench, and I got the inevitable comment, what calories and macros are you on, bro? This is a tough one, I'll be honest with you, because I can't give you, I will, and I will give you my answer, but my answer is kind of irrelevant to you, because unless you were the exact same height, weight, age, and lived the exact same lifestyle as me, my calories and macronutrients are somewhat irrelevant to you. The other thing is that I have to be honest, I don't track my calories and macronutrients anymore. Anymore being the key word there, because I first started training 15 years ago, and then I first sort of got into calories and macro tracking probably about 6 years ago. Tracked it insanely diligently for three, maybe 4 months. And since then, apart from the odd week or two here and there, I've not needed to track calories. And I say this to all of my clients, that calorie tracking is a process that it doesn't need to be like a life sentence. If you do it very diligently for even 2 months, you'll probably never need to do it consistently ever again in your life, because you build an ability and a skill to be able to look at food completely differently for the rest of your life. And so as a result, I haven't really needed to. When I moved to Spain, I did track again for a couple of days, because obviously I'm eating slightly different food, different supermarkets, all this stuff. And then you learn to realize that pretty much all the food comes from the same companies with just different brands stuck on it. So it's actually basically the exact same. But the point that I think I'm probably eating about 3,500 calories a day, and I will be consuming about 180 to 200 grams of protein. That's my numbers. If you want to click off this video now and go and apply that, go for it. But I would encourage you to stick around, because that isn't actually going to help you that much, as I said, unless you're the exact same height, weight, age, and live the exact same lifestyle as me, which you don't, because none of us are the same. We're all special snowflakes. No, I'm joking, but we do all live different lives. So what's far more important, and what I will give you in this video, is the principles to be able to understand your calories and macronutrients if you want to build muscle. Before I do though, it's also important to recognize that the nutrition, whilst it is important, it's only one element of the whole process, because you need to make sure that your training's dialed in, your sleep's dialed in, your mindset's dialed in, all of that other stuff. Now, that would be a 3-hour monstrosity of a video, which is why I have a free course, by the way, which we'll talk about at the end if we want. But today we're going to talk specifically about the nutrition. We're going to bang it out in 5 minutes, and let's get into it. So if you're looking to build muscle, aside from the training, where you need to be progressively overloading and yada, 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 we need ideally, not essentially, but ideally, for you to be in a small calorie surplus. Now, for you to do that, you need to figure out what your maintenance calorie number is, okay? Now, if you want, we can do this for free, no strings. Drop me so go to my bio, find my Instagram, it's in my links. Follow me on Instagram, drop me a message, and I'll send you the link to my calorie calculator. Or literally, if you want to save time, Google calorie calculator. I can't guarantee the accuracy of them. I can guarantee the accuracy of mine. But that's going to help you to calculate your maintenance calorie number. Then what we want to do is create a small 5 to 10% surplus above your maintenance calorie number. So let's just use a very easy example. And again, this is just an example. Let's say your maintenance calorie number was like 2,000 calories. You'd have to be a pretty small sedentary man for it to be 2,000, but I'm just doing this because I can do the maths in my head. A 10% surplus would be an extra 200 calories per day, and a 5% surplus would be an extra 100 calories per day, right? So you want to be aiming for 2,100 to 2,200 calories per day to build muscle. Now, the reason we want to do that, create that small surplus, is it's going to give you more energy. If you've got more energy, you're more likely to get up and you're more likely to go and do things. And then when you're actually in the gym, you've got more energy to push heavier weights so that you're able to get the progressive overload, so that you're able to build the bigger muscles. So that's the super simplified version of it. Okay, so it's about having the energy to be able to get up and do more, and the drive as well. I think that's really important. I mean, you actually want to get up and do more. And then in the gym, when you're actually applying it, you're able to physically push, pull, press, whatever, more weight, okay? And you need to be able to do that to progressively overload, to build the muscles bigger, stronger, and all that sort of stuff, okay? So, I just drink my coffee, otherwise it's gonna go absolutely freezing cold. So that's the first thing we need to understand, okay? So we need to create that small calorie surplus. What else do we need to consider? Protein. Of course we do. We need to consider protein. So protein, you'll hear a lot of nuanced stuff about. You'll hear about protein timing. You'll hear about protein sources. You'll hear about amino acid profiles. You'll hear about leucine thresholds, protein synthesis, all of this stuff. And there is definite truth in a lot of it. But it is for the top 1% of people who have optimized to actually get their daily protein intake in. What I would say is aiming for as a very, very general rule of thumb, at least 120 grams of protein per day. Now you can get slightly more scientific with this and look at it as like a calculation based on your body weight. So you could go like two grams of protein for every kilo of your body weight. So if you weigh 80 kilos, you want to get 160 grams of protein in. Kilograms of protein, that would be impressive. Yeah, 160 grams of protein in per day. But I would say as an absolute bare minimum threshold to build muscle, 120 grams per day. But honestly, the more the better. And I can safely say that because very few people are going to go above 200 grams of protein because there's a couple of reasons. It would get pretty expensive to eat more than 200 grams of protein. And secondly, it would fill you up so much that you would be really struggling to eat more than that. And I can also say it because even if you're worried about going above your maintenance calories too much, you're just not going to have any more room. You're not going to have any more space in your stomach. You're just not going to have the appetite to eat more than that. So I would say at least 120 grams of protein. The higher, the better though. And what I would say on the quality of the protein is you want to be aiming ideally for animal protein. And the reason for that is the amino acid profile, okay? None of this soy boy vegan shit. It's just not as high quality, okay? That's the other thing to say about that. It's important to actually, one thing I will recognize there is a lot of protein bars, not the shakes, but the protein bars are made of soy protein. So again, it's not a negative, it's just not as much of a positive as if you were to eat a chicken breast, a steak, salmon, prawns, tuna, whatever else it might be, okay? So whole foods, animal protein, better amino acid profile, etc., etc., etc. That's the sort of thing you want to say. Oh, I forgot something. The reason we're aiming for that small calorie surplus, this is important. So the old adage, and I fell for this, is I'm bulking, bro, which is basically an excuse to eat as much as you want. And it's like, yeah, I just need to get more carbs in. And the premise of that is correct because that is your body's preferred source of energy. You're going to get more carbs in, you're going to have more energy, you're going to be able to lift heavier weight. However, anything more than a 10% surplus daily, you're just going to be gaining weight too quickly and you're going to end up putting on more body fat. So I used to be in this position. I used to have this goal. I really wanted to be 100 kilos. I thought this was going to solve all of life's problems for me. Of course it didn't. I actually never even got to 100 kilos. I think I got to like 97 or 98. But the point of the matter is all I was doing was putting on body fat. That was it. I wasn't actually getting any stronger because at that time I wasn't progressively overloading. I wasn't following any kind of program. I was just going in and lifting weights, and it was very much done on how I felt. And we know that if we do anything like by how we feel, we're basically not going to get anywhere in life. So yeah, anything more than a 10% calorie surplus and you're just going to be putting on body fat, not muscle. Because unfortunately, muscle growth happens at a very slow rate. As much as we think, you'll get guys who say, oh, yeah, I put on like 4 kilos of muscle this month. It's like, no, you didn't. Even if you were a brand newbie at the gym, the max you're going to put on is probably like 1 kilo, maybe 2 if you're very new and you've got the best genetics in the world. But if you're putting on 4 kilos in a month, you're putting on at least 2 kilos, if not 3 kilos, if not 3.5 kilos of fat. So that's why we want to be aiming for very small surpluses. I actually say it's somewhat controversial, but I say to people that building muscle is harder than losing fat, because losing fat, it's difficult, but you can just go like, right, I'm going to commit to this for 3 months. I'm going to go super aggressive deficits. I'm going to give up alcohol. I'm going to train 5 times a week. And you can just literally go crazy on it, and you can really let the handbrake off. But with muscle gaining, you have to change gears slowly. It's much more methodical. It's much more science-based. You have to go, otherwise you just end up a fat mess. And then you kind of defeat the whole purpose. You don't build the body and the aesthetic that you want. So yeah, I think that's the 2 main principles of it. And like I say, like if you really want my calories and macros, like I say, it's probably about 3,500 calories a day. And it's probably about 180 grams of protein, but I couldn't tell you precisely because I don't track anymore. And the reason I don't track anymore is because I did it years ago. I've got an ability to eyeball food and have a pretty good understanding of what is in that food. Also, the other important thing to say is I'm very boring when it comes to my food. I eat the same. A lot of my diet is the same every single day. I eat the same breakfast, I eat the same snacks, I eat the same fruit, and my lunch and dinners alternate between like 4 things. That's it. And then what that does is people say, oh, that's boring. It's like, well, yeah, but if I'm boring 80 to 90% of the time, I'm going to hit my goals faster. And when I do, on the rare occasion, go out, whether that's for food or for drink or whatever that might be, I can basically do whatever I want because I've been more controlled, more disciplined, more measured for 80 to 90% of the time. So there are pros and there are cons. I think that's pretty much all my advice I would say on it. Like I said, if you want some help calculating your calories and your macronutrients for your muscle gain journey, which is very specific and unique to you, probably the best way to reach me is go to my bio, follow me on Instagram, drop me a DM, and I can send you a link, figure this out for free, no holds barred. No holds barred, that's not the right word. No strings attached. That's what I was trying to say. Cool. Hope this is useful. Have a fantastical Monday. Have a great week. Get a lift in today. Start the week off positive. And I'll catch you tomorrow.